This video contains the best attack strategy for Town Hall 12 to Town Hall 15s, so let's break each of them down to increase your 3-star success. Let's start with Town Hall 12's best attack, the Super Witch Smash. You're mainly going to start this off by using the Warden Walk. This is going to create funneling on one side of the base. Typically, I would recommend bringing in the use of lightning. Using 1 earthquake and 4 to 5 lightning spells is what you're going to need. 5 lightning spells is only used if you are seeing an expo within the multi-inferno compartment. Otherwise, just use 4 lightning and 1 earthquake. Other than this, controlling where the warden goes with either wizards or a baby dragon can play a very significant role. This is just going to create enough of a funnel on one side, making it very simple. You've also got the Flame Flinger Siege Machine that you can use on the opposite side. You can use a wizard to go in for any trash buildings, but of course, using the Siege Machine allows you to go for defenses a bit more interior and can allow you to create a much better funnel in that situation. Other than that, just use the Siege Barrack in some situations, but the Flame Flinger has got you covered in most other situations. From here, you'll want to lure over your Grand Warden. This is either using the Queen or using Super Witches, but it doesn't matter as long as you can get him to go with them. Controlling their pathing is important, so that is why you're typically running either the Siege Barrack, the Flame Flinger, or using just a baby dragon in order to cut that off. Getting into the Town Hall is the name of the game. An early Rage and Grand Warden ability can help them quite a bit. If you have any super wall breakers, I would recommend using them to go deeper into the base, which can truly help this attack tenfold. You're going to typically use a core jump spell as you can keep your big boys and your super witches moving in. Of course, that is where you should also use a rage spell to power up big boys and the super witches if possible. You've even got a super dragon that you can take. You don't have to use this, but I find it to be better than using hog riders. Hog riders will slowly die out over time, while the super dragon has a ton of HP and does a ton of damage. It is a super troop that I would recommend putting within your clan castle, as it just provides a lot of quick work, while your witches, your heroes, and your big boys are just doing a lot of the rest of the work dealing with other buildings. The only thing that you have to really worry about is air defenses, but even then, you should be able to clear a decent chunk on the back end from that super dragon and get an easy 3-star. Next, for Town Hall 13, we have the Queen Charge Hybrid. You're mainly going to start with the Queen Charge, so funneling one side is pretty important, so 2 wizards and a Yeti is actually perfectly fine. We're just going to cut off one side. You can bring in sneaky goblins to provide that, and then just using your queen to power in. Typically, what I would recommend that you do is, if you're using the Queen Charge, use any sort of cocoa balloons to look for Seeking Air Mines to protect your healers, and of course, use rage spells to power your queen into the base. Where the queen is going to go is going to dictate on where the CC is. Can you easily lure it out while charging into a different area? If so, this is a better spot to charge into. However, if the CC is unlurable and it's by the Town Hall, go into the Town Hall compartment. Other than this, you want to just make sure that you are dealing with the enemy CC and just allowing yourself to use the rage spells before that queen drops too low in HP to where it forces her ability. You're going to use super wall breakers though to get a little bit deeper into the base, and using rage spells, of course, throughout to deal with enemy heroes or the enemy CC troops. This creates one side of your funnel, which is in preparation for your hybrid. Now that you have one funnel set, you're going to set the other side of the funnel, the cut-off point for your hybrid, using the king and the Siege Barrack if you would like. There are of course other siege machines I recommend, but this is a good one to bring. You'll then send in your miners, your hog riders, your Grand Warden, and your royal champion right the way into the base. If you're going in directly into that Town Hall, using an early Grand Warden ability to protect everything is what you want. From there though, you will use a heal spell right after that area. This is just going to top everything back off and allow yourself to continue to move in. Of course, you might have CC Hog Riders come in as well, and this will really help your attack tenfold. I'd recommend using another heal spell right in the core or a little bit after the core as you continue to power yourself through, having the royal champion, the hog riders, and the miners continuously working through and dealing with different buildings and defenses. Of course, the eagle artillery is going to be a heavy factor, and without getting rid of it, it can do some pretty big damage. So what I would always recommend is to deal with it at some point, whether that is with the Queen Charge or with the Siege Machine like the Battle Blimp with the Yeti Blimp in order to take it down. But otherwise, as long as you can get through the base, you can have an easy time 3-starring Hybrid. Next is Town Hall 14, and its best attack has to be the Queen Charge LavaLoon. So for starters, you're going to start with the Queen Charge portion, using any troops to cut off the queen early, such as Yetis, baby dragons, or sneaky goblins, can all play a pretty vital role. You can use any balloons as well if it is a defense to cut off one side. Before you place in the healers, the queen should take consistent damage so you don't lose your healers to a ground troop. This way you can use your Queen Charge to move through while using the Barbarian King to funnel. You're going to use him to cut off one side for your queen since he doesn't really have any other purpose. Making sure to funnel him to go into another compartment though is the name of the game. You do want to make sure that you are getting him in by either using sneaky goblins or balloons in order to cut off the funnel for him. With the Queen Charge, you're going to use a rage spell as you deal with the enemy CC and as you go into a lot of damage. Using any of your wall breakers to get deeper into the base is incredibly important for you as you start to work yourself in. Your goal should be to remove the enemy queen or enemy royal champion, enemy CC, and getting any high value defenses before you send in the LavaLoon. Creating good pathing is also going to be a nice bonus with this Queen Charge. From here, you have your Royal Champion and the Battle Drill, as this provides a very simple diggy at home, but also getting and extending the value of your heroes. Not only this, but you're going to start your LavaLoon, typically using one Lava Hound with around 3 to 4 groups of balloons as you work in. Your goal should be to get to the Town Hall if you didn't remove it already with the Queen Charge. In that case, you could either use a haste or a rage spell, pairing that with the Grand Warden ability to get down the Town Hall. Having the Battle Drill paired with the LavaLoon can help you a lot, with the stuns providing a ton of value for you. As for the haste spells, getting them to key defenses like the Town Hall, Scattershot, Wizard Towers, anything that's going to do some pretty big damage to balloons. You've also got free spells that you can use on things like the Scattershots or other splash damage related defenses. The Battle Drill is just going to provide a lot of support over time. Being able to stun defenses is always incredibly nice. Of course, you've got the use of the minions and the lava pups. Make sure that you're cleaning up so you prevent yourself from getting that time fail and thus failing with this strategy. And of course, for Town Hall 15, arguably the best strategy has got to be the Queen Charge Super Hogs, aka Twin Hogs. You're mainly going to start with the Queen Charge portion, using the Queen Charge to go in for the enemy queen or enemy royal champion, alongside dealing with the enemy CC, whether it is easy to lure out or you have to charge in for it, and of course getting value such as splash defenses or anything around a rage spell tower. You should use your Barbarian King to cut off one side of your funnel, making it so much easier to control where your queen is going. Getting deeper into the base with rage spells and the super wall breakers can help tremendously, and before you even think of dealing with the rage spell tower defenses, lure out the enemy CC. It makes it much easier on your part in order to make sure that you're not having to deal with too much fire. If you want, you could bring in the use of an invisibility to keep your queen protected. But using free spells specifically over the rage spell tower before it pops can be massive, as it's going to prevent you from using your queen ability. Otherwise, you're going to have to use your queen's ability. So you will want to make sure that you are keeping an eye out on this, but preventing that much damage on your queen can be a pretty big thing. And clearing as many of these structures around the rage spell tower can provide a lot of value for you, provides funneling, pathing for your super hogs, and a lot less damage they have to worry about. Now from here, you're going to send in your super hogs with the Grand Warden and the Royal Champion to boot. Any of your regular hog raiders are going to be used basically surgically around to provide support and control for your super hogs. Use an early Grand Warden ability as you move yourself through, protecting as many of them as possible. If you got Headhunters to deal with an enemy hero that's left over, I'd recommend having them within that Warden aura too. Using rage spells to provide a lot of damage to a bunch of your Hogs and Super Hogs, since they synergize really well with it. And you've even got the Skeleton spell to distract things like the Monolith or the Scatter Shots, making it very high value. Other than this, you should have a lot of your Hogs or Super Hogs still up, alongside the Royal Champion, possibly her ability too. You cannot forget, though, the Battle Blimp. There are a couple situations that you could use the Battle Blimp in. Mainly, you could either use it against the Town Hall if it is closer to the outside. Even if there is an invisibility spell tower, you should be completely fine. You could also use it to support your queen, such as going in for a multi-target inferno or a scatter shot in order to help control where the queen goes. You could also use this against a monolith or even eagle artillery if possible. But otherwise, that battle blimp should be used to get down the town hall if it is not needed with the queen charge, but otherwise should be used to support that queen charge and really help you control where she even goes.